So we're recording.
Okay. We're just gonna go through the plot choices that went into this Lannister Rains Castamere deck.
Some of the openers we had considered using were Noble Cause and Calm Over Westeros. Calm Over Westeros is pretty cool. It's got 3 initiative, which is pretty decent, and then being able to deny claim is good.
It's a good first turn plot, especially because your opponent's not able to counter it with, versus Riddle. Well, that's not true. I meant to say naval superiority.
Right, because it's summer. Versus Riddle, it doesn't stop. You'll always get the effect.
Yes.
But we ended up going with Summer Harvest. We liked Summer Harvest a lot. Because the initiative is 4, so you beat all the people who play Calm Over Westeros, and all the people who play trading, building orders, time of plenty. It really doesn't lose to a lot.
Going second is really important in this deck. It's a lot better to react to what your opponent's doing. It makes pulling off your agenda a lot easier, I would say,
Also, it gets average, 5, 6, 7 gold when you hit Calm Over Westeros a lot. And that's pretty good. Yeah, that's good gold to start out. You can't get naval superiority in Summer Harvest.
And sometimes you get really lucky and you hit trading with the Pentoshi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another big money plot. It's just a guaranteed 10 gold, which sometimes you need.
I think everyone's running this plot. That's why Summer Harvest is especially good right now.
Yeah, it's a really good counter.
Oh, yeah.
It's really good. You get 15 gold if you play this one, and then your
you
opponent
get
plays this one.
to win initiative.
And you win initiative.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
You get to, yeah. But sometimes you got to play trading with the Pentoshi because you need to guarantee, your Tywin and something else. You need to guarantee a couple of your big cards.
I think with trading, it's a good card to play after you Valor, which of course we need in the deck. Valor, you just have to always have that reset handy.
It's the big thing of Valor is just kind of the threat of it is really important. If your opponent doesn't have to play around the Valor Morghulis threat, then they can really just overextend, and sometimes there's just nothing you can do to deal with their board, and you lose, and that sucks. So Valor Morghulis puts a little bit, more threat into your board.
It shapes the way your opponent plays their game, and that is that's pretty big.
Yeah.
So we definitely got to run that.
Yeah. And then we go with the First Snow of Winter March to the Wall kind of combo, if you want to call it that. But they just work really well together, and First Snow is just another reset. Lannister makes really good use of it with their Burnman, Hound, Tyrion, really good 4-cost characters like Gregor's Marauders and Cersei. Trial by Combat. I could go on and on.
Trial by Combat is really good with First Snow of Winter.
Yeah, and then you play March to the Wall because that just takes that advantage and makes it so much bigger.
It's just a really aggressive deck, and I think Lannister is very good at being aggressive.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have Counting Coppers for really good card draw.
Just really draw. The deck doesn't have a lot of draw.
Yeah.
It's pretty much Pycelle, and that's it.
It is just Pycelle.
It's just Pycelle.
But
so you gotta have some card draw, especially if your redraw after you set up isn't very good.
Yeah, and Lannister's really good at dealing with that 2 income with their really efficient characters. Tywin money.
Yeah, if you have Tywin out,
money.
That's a 4 gold, draw 3 cards. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then Confiscation.
So this is definitely, you got to protect the Tywin because you need that Tywin money.
Yeah, it's just
because
that.
You're running 2 gold plots, right? Valor's 2 gold. Counting Coppers, that's not a lot of gold, but you're drawing cards.
And being able to keep like Craven or Attainted off of like some of your bigger characters or characters that have stealth, that can really help push through the agenda on key turns. So that's the non-schemes.
Right, and 5 initiative, that's not bad.
No, not at all.
Not bad.
So that's non-ski schemes.
Schemes are pretty standard.
Filthy. Because that's a good one.
You just gotta have that one. You gotta have Power Behind the Throne. Standard character. Varys' Riddle.
Yeah.
And Wardens. Wardens is great.
Here we go. Here's the good ones.
You just want to attack their hand if you have the opportunity. If you have Tyrion out, it's really easy to get Wardens off. Sometimes your opponent can forget that you can do your agenda on defense, which is why going second is really good. You can flip into Wardens and use it twice. If you got Tyrion out. So
that's super big. Being able to just use it once and discard 2 cards will make such a big impact on the game.
Because it's 3 card swing with the entry claim.
Yeah, it's really good.
So it's a great scheme. I feel like this fits in perfectly with the agenda. Very thematic.
It works well. And then we got Varys' Riddle. Obviously, just a good one to copy pretty much anything. Building orders, counting coppers.
It's a toolbox, toolbox plot.
It's it's almost like the threat of Varys' Riddle that you could activate. Your opponent has to take that into consideration when they flip their plot. And then, of course, Wildfire Assault.
This is the real heart and soul of the deck.
Yeah.
Being able to just reduce characters down to 3 in the middle of the challenges phase really messes up with your opponent, and it makes it a lot easier to, use March to the Wall, use Trial by Combat. It's a really aggressive plot.
Yeah. It works great with the Eerie, being able to save an extra character. You're going to have those Burnmen. You're going to get to ambush the Hound. You're just always going to be able to come out on top after that Wildfire. And so that's our 12 plots.
Nice. That looks pretty solid.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, so the characters, we got to have the Burnmen.
Of course, we Burnmen. We went with Corset Cersei because she's a 4-cost character, so she goes really good for setups, synergizes well with First Snow of Winter.
If you find yourself setting up 2 4-costs and like a, Rose Road?
Yeah.
Sea Road?
Rose Road.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good setup.
That's a great setup.
Cersei
because now you have 2 characters that are safe from your First Snow of Winter.
Yeah.
And Cersei works perfectly with the Trial by Combat. That's really, important to the deck.
It's super good. And it's even, her effect's just really good. Raise your claim by 1 on intrigue challenges. That's insane.
You want to strip their hands. Yeah, if you can use her on a Wardens of the West, that's 4 cards now instead
really,
of 3.
Prevent your opponent from being able to play that longer game.
You have more options with this Cersei.
For sure. So we don't run 7-cost Cersei. We run Chella because she works really well with the Wildfire combo.
She's very easy to get her Intimidate and Renown with the Wildfire.
Yeah, or even, less often, if you have Cersei in Trial, throw Chella in. Or even if you just have Trial by Combat, use it with Chella. Great, get an ear.
She's a solid 4-cost character that just keeps getting stronger. And then when she has Intimidate and Renown, she's just so good.
Yeah. She's something your opponent has to deal with.
For only 4 gold.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And running 3 of allows us to dupe her.
Another character that can just stick around after Valor, which is good. We got 1 Grandmaster Pycelle, because we're trying not to run too many 3-cost characters, but he's pretty efficient for 3-cost. The draw it's
card.
Pretty worth it.
He's the only draw, so
so he's pretty worth it.
He's definitely worth it. Janos is really good. Intimidate is very important.
Yeah, it really helps you to be able to just control that one character that you need to deal with.
And then late in the game, when you're sitting on a bunch of gold, he just becomes a beefy character.
A bomb.
With on-demand control.
He's really good because he's got that intrigue icon, so, you can invest in to make him a bomb for that intrigue challenge to push through your agenda, or make your opponent invest a lot and not spend the gold and just come off ahead of a challenge. I don't know. He's really flexible.
As a one-of, I think it's a great card. At 5 gold, he's very
really
efficient.
We got 7 cost King Joffrey.
This is the, I like to call him the tilt bomb, because when you play him, you put your opponent on tilt.
Right. You just basically get to point and click, kill a character.
And that, no one likes to see that.
No, it's pretty dumb.
If they're not able to save the character, or if they can't treachery Joffrey, then he's just, he snipes their best character.
Yeah.
And there was no thought put into that.
No.
It's not like you...
There's no strategy, no skill.
So your opponent doesn't like that you just so easily killed their best character, you know? It's like when you get Crown of Gold.
Right, that's dumb.
That's...
Because you know they're only running one, because Crown of Gold limit 1 per deck. And we're only running 1 Joffrey. You know, nobody's running 3 Joffrey. That'd be sick, though.
Right. So, as a one-of, we're running 3 Tywin, obviously.
We've got Janos and then Cersei, and I think that's it.
We've got enough loyal, but at 7 cost, he's not really that bad because we're already running 3 Tywin.
Yeah.
So at 4/7 characters, you know, that's not bad.
It's not bad. He's kind of just like a big event, which is fine. We got 3 Lannisport merchants, because, you know, I don't need to explain that. They're really good for setups, and it's kind of like economy in a way.
I love the
and then they're chuds.
Yeah, the chuds are super important. Just critical cards. I like Littlefinger. Littlefinger. Oh, he's also draw. I forgot
Littlefinger's draw. So we've got 2 draw cards.
2 draw cards. So we have to run this guy.
Yeah. He's got an intrigue icon and a power icon, which is really good.
And he, you know, if you set him up, he's got +1 gold.
Yeah, he's like half a Tywin, which is insane.
He gives you options. You either get to draw 2 cards or get some gold. Sometimes you get to do both.
Yeah, and so that's really good. We got 3 Red Cloaks, another cheap dude that can be another beefy intrigue icon.
Like really efficient character for 2 gold.
Military intrigue.
The 2 best icons for this deck, I think. Yeah. And you can make use of extra gold like that Tyrion generates.
Or extra gold you have maybe mid or late game.
And
not spending.
Most importantly, it helps you pull off your agenda.
Yeah.
For 2 gold, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. We got Sir Amory Lorch.
As a one-of.
Unique Lannister character. Sometimes renown. 4 cost. Military icon. You know, he's just a good card. Efficient. You know. We got 3 Gregor's Marauders, which is like the best 4 cost. Because it's got 4/4 military intrigue. Really good for first to know winner. Military icon, intrigue icon can always be really effective. The pillage doesn't really do a lot. Basically, I always expect it to never ever do anything, but it's fun.
Yes, it's like
it's a fun card.
He doesn't have a reaction, but he's got the best icons. You know, he's just a block, a 4-strength intrigue block.
It's gonna smack you.
Yeah, and it's really good and non-unique. Like it's perfect for the deck. Helps you pull off the agenda.
And if you hit him, then your opponent's going to go on tilt.
Right, because they're not going to be running a lot of events.
Yeah.
They never are.
No.
So, that's always fun. But while we're running Sir Gregor's Marauders, we are not running Sir Gregor Clegane. No. And the reason we're not running him is he doesn't have an intrigue icon. And that's kind of the theme of this deck.
Yeah, he can't do anything for Rains. And then he's also like pretty easily controlled by
a lot of stuff.
And so at that point, we just decided to not run another 7-cost character. We think Tywin and Joffrey.
I would much rather have Joffrey in my hand than Gregor. You know, but no Gregor.
No Gregor. No Ilan Payne either. He's not doing challenges. He's just kind of like a location, basically.
That can die to Valor. And Wildfire. You're not going to keep Ilan Payne over Tyrion or Cersei.
Yeah, so he's just like not as efficient as a character for this deck, which is what this deck's really kind of all about. Super efficient characters. Like Jaime Lannister, military, intrigue, can do more than one challenge, you know, has a pseudo renown, get you power.
Definitely worth really a one-of slot.
5 strength,
5 strength makes
Yeah.
it easy to pull off that agenda. That gets a spot.
Yeah. Other efficient characters, Shay, another 3-cost character, one of the few ones that we run, just because intrigue icon, power icon can do more than one challenge. Can
More
do
than
3.
she can do 3 challenges, and she
Yeah.
works so well with Tyrion. It's
Yeah.
it's so thematic. I love it.
It's really good.
I love it.
Sirio can give stealth to your beefy intrigue icons, your Gregor's Marauders, your Cersei, your Tywin, to really help you pull off your agenda.
Yeah, that's
really good.
definitely the theme of the deck is pull off the agenda.
Yeah, the agenda's pretty good. The Hound 3x. We really like the Hound because, he's only 3 gold, and then he's 6 strength.
And that's really
good. He blocks so many military characters, Balon, Jaime, just by himself. And then if you make sure you're always winning your challenges with him, then he can't die to Valor. And so he's always a 3 gold character that you're going to have post Valor. So you definitely want to see him.
You
which is why we
always
run 3.
you always want to see the Hound, so you definitely run 3. And it's not like he'll be dead. He should not be dying to Valor. He should be in your hand, or you should have him duped. I like to play a dupe and then just claim soak him. Whatever. The Hound is very good.
Yeah.
Always want to see him.
Yeah. The Tickler, definitely just one of unique character. Military intrigue, 2-cost chud. Sometimes you use the Tickler and it's fun. That's what I really like about Pillage and the Tickler.
Because they
fun.
put your opponent on tilt. If you have ever tickled your opponent's best card, you know what it's like. You know how salty they get.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And he's got the 2 best icons.
Yeah, so that's good. Toman, another Chud kind of character. He's a king, if that means anything.
Yeah, for Renly.
Yeah,
that's
Renly,
pretty good.
Balon.
That's really good.
He's a power icon, which is pretty good for this deck. And also his ability is really not to be ignored late game when players are top decking.
If you're top decking this guy late game, that's not bad.
Prevent your opponent from getting unopposed power. That can really slow them down. And then, of course, 3 Tyrion, 3 Tywin, core versions, because they give you a lot of money.
They just do.
They give you a lot of money.
They do a lot of work. Okay.
Yeah, and then his strength's really big, and this guy's got stealth, so they're just really good.
I think that's it for characters.
Yeah, 37 characters, a pretty good number. For attachments, we only have 3 Bodyguard and a Widow's Wail. Oops. Bodyguard to help save your Tywin, your Jaime, your Tyrion from Valor, your Cersei.
You are going to have to Valor a lot of games, or at least survive one, because when you're really aggressive, it puts your opponent into a corner, and they're going to Valor. And you want to make sure you're ahead after that Valor with either Bodyguard or the Eerie.
Yeah, being able to at least make sure you can save Tywin for post-Valor is, so important, because he has so much strength, and he gives you that +2 gold for that next turn.
He draws a lot of aggro. He makes your opponent want to Valor. I often won't play Tywin if I don't have a way to save him.
Yeah, you don't want to waste your Tywin. So definitely got to have Bodyguard. Widow's Wail, because Widow's Wail is just a super efficient card. For 1 gold, you can set it up on a character, and then when you set it up, you still get the bonus, and when the character dies, it goes back to your hand, and you get to use it again.
If I'm at a 60-card deck, I will go to 61 for a Widow's Wail.
Yeah.
Every day of the week.
Widow's Wail is really good.
And
it can help you twice on Sunday.
Twice on Sunday. Don't interrupt me. Twice on Sunday.
Widow's Wail can help you win that surprise challenge too, which is really important, or push through that surprise intrigue challenge for your agenda.
And you know what else it does, Tyler?
What else?
It puts your opponent on tilt.
It puts your opponent, because you're only running one.
You're
Widow's
only
Wail.
running 1 Widow's Wail.
Yeah, and then sometimes you put it on Joffrey, and he gets a military icon.
That never happens.
And that never happens.
I don't think that ever happens.
For locations, we have 2 Shadow Black Lane. Shadow Black Lane, another card that kneels your faction, but on turns where you can't pull off the intrigue by 5, this is you only have to win an intrigue. It's a lot easier to pull off and it lets you search for cards like Treachery and Trial by Combat, which are cards you want to see every single game.
These are critically important cards to the deck. You want to pull off those Trial by Combats at the right time.
You want to cancel their shenanigans.
And there are some turns when I don't want to use any of my scheme plots, and this just gives you another option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a 1 cost for setups, which is really good.
Great for setups, and really 2 of you're going to see it, but you're not going to see more than you want to.
Eerie, another really good location in this deck. It's a location that we don't see a whole lot of play, but we really, really like in this deck. We think it synergizes insanely good with Wildfire, protecting your characters from Valor. You can use it offensively. Picking your opponent's, Chud character, and then now they can't kill that character for military claim. And if you put a lot of pressure on them, you can put them in a corner.
This deck is able to afford the Eerie. 4 gold, not that much for what this card can do. It's a repeatable save. It is a way to protect your Tywin indefinitely. He is always safe from the Valor and the dreaded double Valor. Sometimes it happens, and Tywin will survive that, and that is really big. Because once you play Tywin and the Eerie, you just feel like you've won the game.
Your Tywin's not going anywhere. It says, cannot be killed. 2 Valors, a Valor and a versus Riddle, it doesn't matter. Your character cannot be killed, and it's really good. It's really good. And then, of course, King's Road, Rose Road, Western Fiefdom.
You gotta have the economy.
Just the economy.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on Tywin. You won't get him every game. Just most games. And then for events, we're only running...
we want to keep it light on events.
Yeah.
They're
Treachery,
not good for setup.
Trial by Combat.
So...
You can't set up events. We tried to focus only playing in-faction events to synergize with Shadow Black Lane, because that really just helps us run the fewest events possible while still being able to search for them in our deck. So, yeah.
I think that's the deck. We should do the next step, which is run it through the AGOT. Oh, look at the charts.
Let's look at the charts. Let's look at the charts. So the card factions doesn't really matter because it's not a banner deck or anything. But the icons, our lowest is power icons with 13. 13's definitely
That's still
solid.
pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 Chuds, Joffrey, and Tommen, which aren't really good, but that still leaves 6 or 7 solid power icon characters. And then 16 intrigue, 17 military.
That's exactly where we want it to be.
Yeah, that's where we're going to be able to put on the pressure. As far as card costs go, you can see our 3 cost is really far down, which helps with...
we have so many good 4 cost characters, which is perfect for First Snow of Winter. We just deal with it better than other decks.
Yeah, I will say that the annoying thing about Thrones DB with the card cost thing is it's taking into account locations and stuff too. So this isn't just characters, this includes the Eerie. But it still gives you a general outline of the curve of your deck. So this is pretty good. So then let's... what we always do after we build a deck is we're going to save it, and then we'll throw it through agotsetup.com.
This is how we check the consistency of the deck. Because if you want to go far in a tournament, which that's what we were looking to do, that's why we built the deck. We were trying to win a store championship.
Win some playmats, get some swag.
Oh, yeah. So we built the deck. We took it to a store championship in Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincy was the first one we went to.
Yeah, and it went 4-0 in Swiss.
Yeah.
Lost in the semifinals to Joe, who was the eventual winner.
Yeah.
And then we took it to Springfield, and
Springfield.
It went 4-0 to win that.
Yeah, because they didn't do a top cut. So the deck basically went 8-1 so far in the Store Championships, which I think is really
pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Out of 2 Store Championships, 1 win, 1 King of Swiss. That's pretty good.
It's not bad. So basically, this shows you how your setups look after 5,000 hands with them all again, and it gives you the stats without them all again. And we can kind of see that most of the time we're going to be getting 3 or 4 card setups, which is pretty solid. But basically the stat that Nate and I really like to play around with is this percent chance of having a poor setup in 10 games. which, you know, we kind of look at, you know, went to these 2 store championships, that's 9 games. You know, 16% of those 9 games, we're going to have a poor setup. And if we lose that game, you know, does that really hurt our deck's win rate that much? You know, so we might be able to say, you know, that 1 loss is part of this 16% of poor setups that we had in the game. Had this number been higher, you know, maybe we would have had 2 losses.
If you get up to 30% or higher, now you're saying 1 in 3 games, you're going to have a poor setup.
Yeah, and you're just going to be at a disadvantage.
You don't want to put yourself at that disadvantage. You want this number to be as close to 0 as it can get.
Yeah.
You do that by running low events, you know, cheap cards like 1-cost characters and locations.
Yeah.
Duplicates, obviously.
Have a more 4 or 5 cost character centered curve.
So 16% isn't the best, but it's not bad. It's basically like, you know, what, 1 in 5, 1 in 6 games you're gonna have a
what
poor
I kind of
setup.
think about is, like, I think about Gen Con. It was basically 9 games before the cut. You know, if you had 2 losses, basically, you know, you weren't guaranteed to make the cut. And so if you have, you know, a 20% chance of having a poor setup in 10 games, now you're putting yourself at a disadvantage to making the cut just based on the consistency of your deck, not having a, like, you know, a whole lot to do with your skill as a player.
Yes.
You're reducing your ability to use your skill in the game.
You're putting more reliance on variance.
Yeah, so, you know, it's not so much to focus on it and get it to 0. You know, I kind of like to look at it as you just kind of want it less than 20 for sure, but as close to 10 as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, going to 0, obviously you want your deck to be, you know, theoretically as efficient as possible. Okay. So, is there anything else you want to talk about on this website? This is a pretty cool part of the website that lets you shows you, like, what cards are you setting up. So basically, you know, your Chud. 35% of the time, you're going to see a Chud.
Setting up that card, yeah.
When you see this card in your hand, you're going to set it up. Something to be careful about, though, is, like, when it says X3, this like doesn't take into account. So, like, they're Cersei's a 4-cost character. What's a 4-cost character we only have 1 of? This dude. He's Amory Lorch. They're both 4-cost characters. Really, for setups, it doesn't matter. He's got a military icon, so you might want to favor him. But they're both basically the same. Like 21 split 3 ways is like around 6, 7. You know, they're kind of the same. So, you know, don't see Tyrion at 15 and say, oh, Tyrion's really good. It's just 5-cost characters. But we can see that, you know, these 4-cost, 5-cost characters are good. You know, these 3-cost character, 9% for 1 card, that's good. And then as soon as you hit 6, it like plummets 2%, 7, 1%. You know?
So you want to have as few of those as you can.
Events. Joffrey, the 7 gold event.
That's exactly what he is. Because you don't mind wildfiring Joffrey because he's, you know, one time
he did his thing. You know,
right?
You're guaranteed you get his effect, and then you don't care. So that's a cool thing to play around with. You know, all these charts are pretty cool. I wouldn't, you know, focus on them too much. They're cool to look at, though. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Nate?
Should I do attorney report?
Yeah.
I don't know that, like, I remember the games.
No, then don't do attorney report. Just put the deck on Thrones DB, and we'll put a video, a link.
Okay.
To this.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Well, we should listen to it.
Okay, sure.